Hello, dear friends. Thank you for returning to this warm little corner. Here, I always try to share gentle yet helpful advice, especially for those who have passed the age of 60 and are looking to take care of their health in the simplest yet most effective way. Every time we meet, I see it as a sincere conversation between friends who care about the heart, not only the heart inside the chest, but also the heart of life, of love, and of hope. Today, I want to ask you something simple but very important. Have you ever felt like you were doing fine, while your heart was quietly getting weaker without you even realizing it? There is one very common habit, repeated every day by most older adults. That seems harmless, but is silently damaging the heart, little by little. As a heart surgeon with over 20 years of experience, I truly beg you, please do not continue this habit any longer. Stay with me until the end, because what I'm about to share might be the turning point that saves your heart. Let us begin with this dangerous habit. 1. Lack of physical activity. Before revealing the most dangerous habit that I constantly worry about, allow me to share with you something that seems small, yet has been the root cause of many emergency cases I have handled. In fact, it is so simple that many people never associate it with heart health. It is the habit of sitting too much and barely moving throughout the day. I understand that feeling. At this age, after a lifetime of hard work, people simply want to rest, to lie on the sofa and watch a favorite show, to sit for hours by the window looking out into the garden, or simply to stay curled up under a warm blanket every morning. Not wanting to get out of bed, these moments are precious. But when that stillness lasts too long, it can quietly weaken our hearts without showing any clear signs. I have met many elderly people who walked into my clinic looking perfectly healthy, saying they felt fine, but when examined, their hearts had already become heavy, pumping more slowly, with blood no longer flowing as smoothly as before, and all of it was simply because they barely moved. Day after day, week after week, when blood is not stimulated by physical movement, it becomes thicker, more likely to clog, especially in blood vessels that are no longer as supple as they were in youth. I often tell my patients that you do not need to go to the gym or run for hours. What you need is simply to stand up, walk around the yard, water the plants, or take a stroll around the neighborhood. Every step is a new breath for the heart. Every movement is a message to the body that says, I am still here. I still care about myself. Some people have told me, Doctor, I am used to living this way. At my age, change is hard, but I always believe that as long as the heart is still beating, it is never too late to begin again, with just a little patience, a little determination, and above all, a little self-love. You will find that your body responds with a gentle but steady vitality. So, if tomorrow morning you wake up and your legs still have strength, step outside to the porch, take a deep breath, and begin the day with a few light steps. Your heart will thank you for every single one of them. And that, truly, is the greatest gift you can give yourself after all these long years that have passed. 2. Eating too much salt. Once you have become familiar with taking gentle steps each day, you will begin to notice a quiet change within your body. Your blood seems to circulate more smoothly, and your breathing becomes deeper and more regular. But that alone is not enough if those very steps lead you to a dining table filled with salty dishes. I cannot count how many times I have had to gently remind my elderly patients to be kinder to their hearts by seasoning their meals more lightly. What worries me most is that many seniors do not realize how much salt they are actually consuming each day. It is not just the spoonful of table salt added to soup, but also the hidden salt found in instant noodles, slices of pork roll, pieces of bread, seasoning packets, or even a quick splash of fish sauce poured over rice to make it tastier. As we age, our kidneys gradually lose their ability to filter properly. When salt is not excreted effectively, it builds up in the body, causing water retention. This may seem harmless, but it creates significant pressure on the blood vessel walls, slowly increasing blood pressure day by day. And the heart, like a tired mechanic, must work harder to pump blood through vessels that are narrowing and stiffening. I understand that for many Vietnamese people, a good meal means bold flavors, a dipping bowl of savory fish sauce, or a salty soup that pairs perfectly with rice. But I have also seen many patients who, after just a few weeks of adjusting to lighter seasoning, told me, Doctor, eating this way makes me feel better. My body feels lighter. and I believe that is a truly valuable change. There is no need to remove everything all at once. You can start with small steps. Reduce half a spoon of salt when cooking soup. Use lime, ginger, or herbs to add flavor instead of dipping sauces. Choose low-sodium foods when shopping, or prepare meals at home instead of eating packaged foods. Every small change is a gentle apology sent to your heart. If you find that your food tastes a bit bland, think about how your blood vessels are finally getting to rest. Your heart is taking a slower breath after years of hard work. And perhaps that is a dish even more delicious than any salty food you once loved. 3. Greasy breakfasts. After a long night of rest, the body wakes up with a slow and sometimes sluggish rhythm, and it is at that very moment that many people start their day with foods that seem familiar and comforting. But in reality, place the very first heavy burden on the heart. I am talking about greasy, rich, and overly filling breakfasts that many older adults repeat each day. Many seniors have come to see me and shared that every morning. They have the habit of frying an egg, placing it in a slice of bread, adding a few pieces of sausage, maybe some bacon, and brewing a strong cup of sweetened milk coffee to wake up properly, for many. This routine is tied to the simple joy of the morning. But what few people notice is that after such a meal, the body feels heavier, the heartbeat becomes stronger, and breathing gets more difficult. The heart, right after waking up, is forced to work at full capacity to process the fat that has just been consumed. Breakfast is meant to be a gentle, clean, and energizing start. But for many people, it becomes a storm for the circulatory system, especially after the age of 60, when blood vessels are no longer as elastic as before, and the heart is not as resilient to handle the pressure spike caused by a high-fat meal. I do not mean to criticize or force anyone to change immediately. I understand that breakfast is not just a meal, but also a memory, a habit, a part of emotional life. But if you are willing to open your heart just a little, you might try gently boiling your egg with a pinch of pink salt instead of frying it, instead of white bread with meat. Try a slice of dark rye bread with mashed avocado and a few slices of banana. A smoothie made from ripe fruit and unsweetened yogurt can also become a refreshing and hopeful start to a new day. The body has a remarkable ability to adapt. After a few changes, your taste buds will adjust, your mood will feel lighter, and your heart will respond with a steady rhythm and a sense of ease after each morning. When choosing what to eat, think about the heart that is beating quietly in your chest, working faithfully to give you another day of life. Let each morning be a thank you to your heart, not an added burden for it to bear. 4. Alcohol. In many heartfelt conversations at the clinic, I have often heard elderly patients say, "I just have a small glass in the evening to help me sleep, doctor." Or, "During holidays and weekends, it feels sad without a little wine." I understand that feeling. A bit of alcohol seems to warm the heart and make family meals livelier. It feels like a part of culture, a long-standing habit that is hard to break. But what troubles me is that this so-called little bit, over the years, quietly weakens the heart day by day. After the age of 60, the body is no longer as strong as it once was. The liver does not filter alcohol as efficiently as it did in youth. The heart cannot handle the sudden dilation of blood vessels that alcohol causes, but alcohol gives no warning. It does not cause chest pain immediately, nor dizziness or pressure each time it is consumed. Instead, it slowly flows through the bloodstream, silently affecting heart rhythm, blood pressure, and sleep, gradually pushing the cardiovascular system into stress without you realizing it. I have seen many patients appear healthy, saying they walk daily and eat sensibly, but after a few tests, their hearts show signs of irregularity. When I ask further, they admit to drinking 1 or 2 glasses each day. "So what, doctor?" they often ask. And I gently reply, "Maybe nothing yet, but if you continue, one day your heart will no longer have the strength to stay silent." I am not here to forbid or impose anything. I simply hope that you begin to see alcohol not as a small joy, but as something that should be considered carefully before entering your body, if possible. Replace the drink with a warm cup of tea or a glass of water in the evening. If that feels too difficult, try to limit it to only special occasions and avoid making it a daily habit. As we age, what the heart needs is not stimulation or temporary warmth, The heart only needs a steady, gentle, and peaceful rhythm. Let it rest, let it recover, rather than forcing it to work harder for a fleeting moment of pleasure. And if one day you find yourself sleeping more soundly, no longer tossing and turning at night, know that your heart is quietly thanking you for making that change. 5. Stress and hidden sorrows. There are things that harm the heart not found on the dining table, nor flowing through the bloodstream, but hidden deep within the emotions we choose to keep to ourselves. After many years of working as a doctor, I have realized something important. It is not only those who eat poorly, avoid exercise, or smoke who suffer from heart problems. Some patients live very balanced lives, eat vegetarian meals, exercise regularly, and yet their hearts still struggle in exhaustion, and sometimes. The reason is simply that they have lived too long in silence. I once met an elderly man with kind eyes and a gentle voice who always said, "I do not want to bother anyone. I do not complain or talk about negative things. I keep everything inside." But it was exactly the things he kept inside, the worries about his children and grandchildren, the sad memories he could not share, the sleepless nights filled with thoughts that made his heart fragile and worn out. Stress, anxiety, and sadness, though invisible, have a powerful impact on heart rhythm. Every time you sigh without speaking, every time a tear falls in silence, it causes your blood vessels to constrict, your blood pressure to rise, and your heart to beat faster to balance the disturbance in your mind. Over time, that pressure turns into fatigue, sleeplessness, and eventually sudden chest pains. Sudden. I understand that many older adults have the habit of enduring quietly. They believe that sharing is selfish or that it bothers others. But I believe that speaking out is not a sign of weakness. Opening your heart is not a burden. Sometimes. All it takes is someone willing to listen. A small conversation, or even a few lines in a journal to soothe the soul and allow the heart to breathe a little easier. If you are feeling a heavy burden inside, please do not keep it all to yourself. Find a friend, a family member, or even a doctor to talk to. Join a community group. Practice gentle morning meditation, or write a few sentences each night. All of these are ways to heal. We may not always be able to change our circumstances, but we can change the way we respond to them. The heart is not just a muscle that pumps blood. It is also the place where our deepest emotions are felt. Take care of what is inside you, because sometimes the most dangerous thing is the one we have never named. 6. Snoring and sleep apnea. There is a sound that many people consider normal, even amusing or familiar during the night, the sound of snoring. Some joke that those who snore must be sleeping well. But for me, someone who has listened to the hearts of patients for more than 20 years, snoring is a warning sound. It is like the sigh of a struggling heart, a silent cry for help that the person making the sound does not even realize. I have seen many older adults come in simply because they feel tired during the day, wake up feeling groggy, sometimes have headaches, or become easily irritated. At first, they think it is just part of aging, that the body is naturally slowing down. But upon deeper questioning, I learn that they snore loudly at night, sometimes with choking sounds, followed by gasping breaths. These are signs of a serious condition that many people do not recognize: sleep apnea. When we sleep, the body is supposed to rest completely, but for those with sleep apnea, the oxygen level in the blood drops repeatedly, forcing the heart to work harder to compensate. Each night becomes a silent marathon, lasting for hours, and yet in the morning, people have no idea they have been through something so serious. I remember one man in his 70s, still strong and energetic, with a booming voice. He only came in because his wife complained about his loud snoring. Upon thorough examination, we found that his heart was struggling every night due to severe drops in oxygen levels after a period of treatment and using a breathing support device during sleep. He returned to the clinic with a gentle smile and said, "Doctor, now I wake up feeling refreshed. It feels like I've truly taken a deep breath for the first time in years." Sometimes, the things we overlook are exactly what exhausts the heart the most. If you have been told that you snore loudly, wake up gasping for breath, or always feel tired after sleep, please do not hesitate to seek medical attention. Early detection and proper sleep care not only improve your mental state, but also serve as a valuable remedy for the heart. Let nighttime truly be a time for the heart to rest and recover. Do not let it work silently while we believe we are peacefully asleep. A good night's sleep is one of the most loving gifts we can offer our heart after a long and faithful life. 7. Cigarette smoke. There is something I believe most people have heard many times, so much so that they may no longer pay attention to it. Smoking is harmful to health. But what continues to trouble me deeply is that not everyone fully understands how much damage cigarette smoke can cause to the heart, especially in older adults. During a routine checkup, I met a woman in her early 60s. She was petite, spoke softly, and had never smoked a cigarette in her life. She came in because she often felt tired while walking and experienced mild chest discomfort. After running some tests, I was surprised to find signs in her heart similar to those of someone who had smoked for many years. When I asked further, she quietly explained, "My husband has smoked for decades. There's smoke in the house every day. I got used to it. I didn't think it mattered." And that is exactly what pains me. Cigarette smoke, even when inhaled from others, silently enters the bloodstream, damaging the inner lining of blood vessels, making them stiff and dry, and allowing fat to build up and form dangerous plaques. For the heart, it is a burden beyond measure. I have also heard many elderly patients say they only smoke a few cigarettes a day, or only when they feel stressed or lonely. But whether it is a little or a lot, whether active or passive, every puff that enters the lungs forces the heart to beat harder, the blood vessels to constrict more, and the blood to carry toxins that should never have entered the body. Some have smoked for decades, and when I advise them to quit, they often respond with a sad smile, saying, "It's too late now, doctor." But the truth is, it is never too late. I have witnessed hearts begin to recover just a few months after quitting. Heart rates become more stable, blood pressure drops, and most importantly, people feel lighter and sleep more peacefully. If you are smoking or living with someone who smokes, please think about your heart, your partner's heart, and the hearts of the children in your home. Every cigarette put out today is a breath of fresh air for tomorrow. Let each breath you take be clean air, full of life, not a silent poison attacking the heart day by day. And if you find it hard to quit, remember that you are not alone. Many others have been in the same place and they succeeded. All it takes is a decision to begin today. Even a small step can be the beginning of a healthier, lighter, and stronger journey for your beloved heart. 8. Screens at night, phones and televisions. During my conversations with patients at the clinic, I often ask a question that may seem unrelated to the heart. Do you often use your phone or watch TV before going to sleep? Most people smile and answer, "Of course, doctor." Without it, the night feels too quiet. Watching something cheerful helps me fall asleep. I understand that feeling at this age. The nights often feel longer than the days. The children are away, the house is quiet, and the television or phone becomes a silent companion. A few news clips, some funny videos, or gentle chats in a group of friends can ease the sense of loneliness. But what few people realize is that the light and sound from those small screens have a significant impact on sleep, and in turn, a deep effect on the heart. The human body has a natural biological rhythm, guided by light and darkness. When night falls, the body releases a hormone that helps us fall into deep, restorative sleep, a precious gift for the heart after a full day of work. But the light from phone or television screens interrupts this process. It tricks the brain into thinking it is still daytime, making it harder to fall asleep, and resulting in lighter, more restless sleep. It is not just the light, the content we watch also matters. Some people read the news, scroll through online arguments, or get caught up in dramatic stories. These things stimulate the nervous system, cause the heart to beat faster, and send us to bed in a tense state without realizing it. The heart, instead of resting, is forced to stay alert and work harder. I am not asking you to give up those moments of relaxation completely, but I do hope you can adjust your habits slightly to give your heart the rest it truly needs. Turn off screens at least 1 hour before bed. Instead, listen to calming music. read a few pages of a book, or simply sit with your eyes closed and breathe deeply. These quiet moments at the end of the day not only help you sleep better, but also give your heart the chance to heal after all the effort it has made throughout the day. There are nights when we think we are resting, but in truth, we are making the heart more tired. And there are also nights when simply turning off a device, softening the light, and slowing the breath brings a quiet smile from the heart. 9. Fried foods and fast food. Every time I walk past street food stalls or small vendors by the roadside, I often see long lines of people waiting to buy their favorite snacks. The smell of fried food has an oddly irresistible charm. A crispy piece of fried chicken, a few hot fried pastries, or even just a quick bag of snacks from the corner store. All of these bring satisfaction to the taste buds. And for many older adults, these foods sometimes become a little joy in their day. I do not deny that enjoying good food is a true happiness, but after hundreds of conversations and examinations, I have come to realize that these small joys, when repeated daily, can become a major cause pushing the heart closer to its limit, especially for those over 60, when digestion slows down. Blood vessels lose their elasticity, and the heart must work harder each minute, each hour, to keep up with its essential job of pumping blood. Fast food and fried foods are not only oily, but they also contain harmful fats that we cannot see with the naked eye. Each bite is not just energy, but a collection of substances that thicken the blood, gradually clog the vessels, and narrow the pathways through which blood flows. What is dangerous is not just one meal, but the repetition of the habit day after day, month after month, year after year. Some people tell me they only eat a little, just for fun or to ease their cravings, and that it should not matter. But the heart does not measure how much or how little. It only feels that with each instance. It must work harder, beat stronger, and at some point, it may no longer have the strength to keep up. If you find it difficult to give up these foods completely, that is perfectly understandable. I'm not asking you to follow strict restrictions, but please try to gradually make healthier substitutions. A fried dish can be replaced with a steamed or boiled one. Instead of snacks, you can choose unsalted nuts, fruit, or a light bowl of soup. Your taste buds will adapt. More importantly, your heart will feel the difference. We do not have to live harshly in order to have a healthy heart. We simply need to be more mindful in our daily choices. And when you make the right ones, you will feel your body becoming lighter, stronger, and each heartbeat growing steadier and calmer, just like the peace you are striving for. 10. Stopping blood pressure medication or failing to monitor regularly. There is something I witness frequently in the clinic. Many older adults, when they feel well, no pain, no fatigue, decide to stop taking their blood pressure medication without informing their doctor. They believe that if there are no unusual symptoms, the medication is no longer necessary. But then, many of them return in worse condition: dizziness, chest pain, shortness of breath, or even emergencies such as strokes or sudden heart attacks. I understand. Taking medicine every day is not easy. Some people fear side effects, some forget, some find it inconvenient. But what troubles me the most is that many still do not see blood pressure medication as a quiet companion to the heart. Instead, they view it as an unwanted burden. High blood pressure is especially dangerous because it is silent. It often shows no clear symptoms until the consequences are serious. Today, you may feel fine, walking normally, eating well, no warning signs. But inside, the heart is working hard to push blood through vessels that are slowly hardening under pressure. I still remember an elderly man in his 70s who had a history of mild hypertension. He felt healthy and stopped taking his medication for several weeks without telling anyone. One morning, he woke up feeling dizzy and collapsed in his living room. When he arrived at the hospital, we discovered that a sudden spike in blood pressure had caused serious damage to his heart and brain. Although he eventually recovered, his health was never the same again. Every time he returned for a checkup, his eyes reflected a quiet regret. I share this not to make you anxious, but to gently remind you that today's stability is the result of yesterday's persistence. If your doctor has prescribed blood pressure medication, please do not stop taking it. If it is hard to remember, use a pill organizer, set reminders on your phone, or ask a family member to help. And if you experience side effects, speak with your doctor to adjust the dosage. Never stop on your own. One small pill a day can keep your heart beating steadily, your blood vessels flowing smoothly, and your later years more peaceful. See your medication not as a burden, but as a small yet strong shield that helps you move forward without fear or worry. After everything I've just shared, perhaps you are beginning to realize that the heart is not only harmed by major events, but often it is the small, seemingly harmless habits in our daily lives that slowly wear it down over the years. A greasy breakfast, a small glass of wine before bed, a few days without walking, a forgotten pill, or even a silent sorrow never spoken aloud. All of these gradually accumulate, and the heart bears the heaviest burden. But the most beautiful thing I have come to believe throughout all my years in this profession is that the human body has an incredible ability to heal. The heart does not ask us to be perfect. It does not need us to change everything overnight. It only needs attention, patience, and a little effort each day. A gentle morning walk, a lighter meal, a night of uninterrupted sleep without the glow of a TV or phone screen. That is enough for the heart to feel the love you give it. If everything feels like too much, too hard to begin, please remember that no one expects you to do it all at once. Just choose one thing to change first. It could be walking for 10 minutes in the morning. It could be cooking a meal with less salt than yesterday. It could be calling an old friend just to talk. Over time, these small choices will add up to a healthier, more sustainable way of living, not just for your heart, but for your entire life moving forward. As a heart surgeon, I have seen many hearts saved at the very last moment, but I always wish I had met them sooner, when things were still easier to change. And today, through these words, I hope to be the one who meets you at the right time, to gently remind you that it is never too late to love your heart, to slow down just a little, and to take care of yourself more gently. Thank you for staying with me until the end. Your heart is still beating, not tired, not complaining, only asking for one simple thing to be heard and to be cherished. Begin today, with the smallest steps, because even an aging heart still deserves to live in peace and be filled with love.